on March 10th through March 16th. And now Venus retrograde continues and Mercury retrograde begins, okay? So Monday the 10th, we want to enjoy the beauty, the simple joys. Love is free. Where are you overspending? The moon is in the sign of Leo on the 10th. And Leos, I love you Leos, and you definitely know how to live a good life and you know how to be healthy, selfish, but you want to take a look at the simple joys and the love of the heart and the simple, like back to the spells from the hearth, the home cooked meals, the simple pleasures, okay? And taking a real look at where you're spending. Now, the moon is trine Mercury, Venus, and Neptune. So there's a lot of smooth energy there on the 10th. We still have Mars trining Saturn all week, and the sun is going to be square Jupiter. All right, now Tuesday the 11th, the moon is square Uranus. We've got Mars trining the sun. The moon will still be in the sign of Leo, and I wrote expect the unexpected. Now, Wednesday the 12th, you want to really look at your spending. This is a great time to start analyzing the numbers of what you're doing. We're in this Venus retrograde. We're supposed to be looking at these things. We're supposed to be looking at where we give ourselves away. Okay. Where are we giving, over giving? Where are we not saying no enough? And Wednesday the 12th into Thursday the 13th is a great time to look at this. Okay. Now, we're heading towards the full moon. Now, we know things always get very dramatic in the full moon, and we know things are already wacky because of these retrogrades, and we've been through so many retrogrades that we're getting a little tired of all these retrogrades if you're feeling it like I'm feeling it. Now, this full moon that we're going to move into, so we want to pay attention to the details. We want to use the great analyzing energy that Virgo provides for us as we move into the full moon in Virgo at 2:55 a.m. on Friday the 14th. This is full moon, as I talked about in the beginning of the video, is opposite 5 planets in Pisces and the North Node, Chiron, and Eris. Okay, so this is intense. That little moon is across from all these heavy hitter planets. And the moon is who we truly are. And the moon is a great recorder of time. It remembers everything. It's in this analytical sign of Virgo. So this is a great time to look at what needs to go. Because remember, this full moon is coming with the lunar eclipse. And that lunar eclipse is here to take out the trash. All right. So this is your purge. This is the time. So this is a great time to literally be cleaning. It's a great time to be looking at what thoughts are going on that gotta go. And this is, again, not going to just affect you that day. This is going to affect us. I'm seeing it kind of affecting us right up until we get to the new moon, which is going to bring in stuff. And that's on the 29th. So maybe make a list of the things that you notice are being taken out. What garbage is being taken out? And like I said in the beginning, you can make a list of things that you are willing to offer up. And you can put that with your moon water if you'd like, but be open and be prepared. And so sometimes it's not what we want to be taken, right? A lot of times the eclipses will take a lot of our pets who are older. And I've been feeling that one for sure. This is the time things are taken, okay? So allow it to clear the path for us so we can move forward lighter. Now, right after this eclipse happens in the sign of Virgo, which Virgo is, it's ruled by Mercury, and Mercury begins its retrograde right after this whole thing happens in Virgo. So Mercury retrograde begins on the 15th at 2:46 a.m. All right. And then the moon's going to be in Libra all weekend, and Libra is ruled by Venus, and Venus is in retrograde. So we just can't avoid this retrograde stuff. All right. So on Saturday the 15th, we have the moon opposite Venus and Mercury, both retrograding, trine Jupiter and Uranus and Pluto. So there's a lot of positive aspects. And, you know, Pluto wants to help with that big cleanup. I wrote down Saturday that news arrives, but more information is still to come. Okay. And then Sunday, we still have the moon in the beautiful relationship sign of Libra. It will be square Mars. So we have to slow down. We have to take care of ourselves. We have to say no to some things because Libras are not very good at saying no, and they will overextend themselves. Okay, so make sure that you slow down and enjoy and observe what's being purged and try not to resist it. Okay, so let's pull a few cards for us for this big full moon eclipse week. Let's see what we have. I got a few different decks here. Haven't looked at any of these cards yet. And I'm also going to work with this Impressionist tarot. I guess it's just been a day for art kind of Impressionists and Dali, right? All right, let's see. And I'm going to give you an oracle also, what we need to know here on this big full moon eclipse week. First card is Pan, Lobelia. This is the devil card. This is about who's got the power, okay? And this is about old shame, old guilt, old like control, okay? So yeah, great. Let it be purged. It's a great week for it. It's a great week to let go of some of these bad behaviors or old manipulating ways or ways that we manipulate ourselves. Okay, so there it is. I don't know. I know the name Lobelia. I don't know the plant. You may know more about that than I do, but there's the Pan card. Okay, our next one is the Wheel of Fortune. So we have two major arcana showing up. I think of this as the Wheel of Fate, and it's landing on Yule. Okay, that little up the top, these are all the pagan holidays. It landed on Yule. Now, you know, we have had a lot going on. We had so many retrogrades right through the holidays too. So we've got looking at old tendencies and then looking at Yule. And to me, that just sparks Christmas presents. And we're talking about Venus retrograde and where we're overgiving or maybe where we're guilted into giving. Okay, so these are the things that want to be looked at. Now, here's our Impressionist tarot, and it is the Two of Wands. Now, I'm going to look this one up because I do not know who that artist is, but it looks like we've got some large birds in the background. They look like, I don't know, maybe egrets or something. And there's this beautiful woman. She's got two umbrellas. And it's a relationship number because it's a 2. And let's see what the book says about it. Okay, this is an Edouard Manet. It sounds like Monet, but it's Manet. Edouard Manet. And it says, you would hardly believe how difficult it is to place a figure alone on a canvas and to concentrate all the interest on this single and unique figure and still keep it living and real. It says, a buxom blonde stands in her boudoir in the process of dressing or undressing. She wears a sleeveless blue bodice, silk stockings, and seductive heels. She turns her head to look at us, and a coy smile plays across her lips. She is young and impertinent, and she is carefully crafting her appearance. You can practically smell the scent of her powder and perfume. There's two umbrellas, and the birds are ibis, the unclean birds of the Bible. Oh, interesting. And in the process, they point to the woman's profession. Okay. So normally the Two of Wands is a card of industry and enterprise. In this case, our subject is in the business of personal services. She sells her youth and beauty for a price. How interesting that this card comes up when we're talking about Venus and we're talking about purging, about overgiving. And this card comes up where she is literally selling herself. Okay, so it's like, where are you selling yourself short? Interesting that these birds are considered unclean. I didn't know that in the Bible. So it's asking you, and you got Pan here, and you've got this Wheel of Fate asking you to look at all areas. Okay, so asking you to look at where you're selling yourself short, where you're giving yourself away, where you have some hidden shame, blame, and where you felt like maybe that you did things in exchange for money, or like you money was the real reason that you compromised yourself in some way. And that's what I'm seeing coming up here. It's a very interesting card. Now let's see what your oracle is. We've got number 34, the blessings and the banishing candle. This is interesting too. All right, well, we're going to look up this one also. Okay, the blessing and the banishing candle. It says, the wise solitary witch draws upon her lifetimes of experience. She knows when to bless and when to banish, and each is done with balanced, compassionate energy. She knows she needs to remove some aspects from her life. There you go. There's the eclipse. And when she does this, the winnowing is never unkind. She takes herself to her magical place amidst snow or in summer's fullness, and is welcomed by the wild ones who knows her name. She warms herself by the light of the candle that will leave something in the past and help another find their true way. She also lights the candle to bring in blessings. She just as often as she banishes, she blesses. She brings in the light in the time of darkness. She brings in the warmth at the time of the cold. So basically, you're being asked to find your balance. You're being asked to look at all aspects of yourself, especially where money has the power and where you kind of overlook your own well-being in its pursuit, okay? Now, let me roll some dice for you this week ahead and see what else we've got. Runaway one here that says number 1. So we've got Taurus. We've got Pluto, Taurus, first house. Pluto, transformation and change, power, death, rebirth, other people's money. In the sign of Taurus, which is like our money, our value, in the first house, Aries house of I am, okay? So I think it's just kind of repeating these themes about money, these themes about our relationship, where we're giving ourselves away for free, where we're undermining ourselves, where we're undervaluing ourselves. So interesting week ahead with this lunar eclipse. Pay attention as we go into these next weeks.